I want to still be the best in the world, and I think about people I'm up against. Would they be welching out on this? Would they be training as hard as this? And for me, that's the mental game. There's nothing going to stand in my way, and I get fired up, I get really competitive. Every minute in that gym counts, every mouthful of my food counts. That's what excites me. But there is so much to prep, and that's why I love bodybuilding. Every prep's different. I'm the one they're gunning for. I'm the one who has to prove myself. But that's when the real mental battle starts, and it's whether you've got that discipline and that determination to keep going. I got into bodybuilding, I got into fitness and started training because I had slight body dysmorphia, and I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. So I always thought I was overweight as a teenager. See you in a bit, Amy. And I used to cover up a lot. I even train in hoodies, t-shirts. I'm not someone who'll walk around with my top off, which sounds so silly in what I do for a living. I thought I'm going to face my fear, and I'll only ever do it once. This is what I said, I'll compete once just to say I've done it and to see if I've got that discipline and whether I can push myself to get that lean. It sparked a flame, sparked a fire for me, and that's what, and it gave me that confidence I was looking for, and that's what it became a career and became part of my lifestyle 24/7. Here's my front covers. My first ever front cover is there, what you can see because I look like a little boy. That was in Indonesia when I won Mr International. So that was a major thing for me. That was when I officially quit being a plumber, apprentice plumber, and I went full-time as a model, fitness model back then. There they are, they're the Arnolds, aren't they? Yeah. Arnold Classics. So we've got Arnold Classic Europe, which is first place. That was when I was an amateur and obviously turned pro. And then we've got the Arnold Classic, obviously Columbus, Ohio, first place there. So yeah, hopefully we'll have another one there for the UK. Yeah, so obviously men's physique, the division has changed, it's evolved over the last 7 years. And to be honest with you, it's not as well suited to me now, because they do favour the bigger, more muscular guys. I was never someone who wanted that look. I like bodybuilding and I follow bodybuilding, but I was more about that aesthetic, like athletic look. And that's when it suited me back in 15, 16, 17 is when they were looking for that. So I either get with the times and try and put some more weight on, or I maybe bow out gracefully. But the Arnold Classic is going to be a big telltale for me. I'm coming in slightly bigger, I'm going to be as full as I can, but as hard as I can, and then we'll go from there. When the Arnold came up, it just felt like an amazing chance for me to obviously compete back on home turf. It's the first time we'll be competing in nearly a decade on home turf. It'll be the first time I'm competing as a pro. It means all my family, friends that can be here. It's a very prestigious title to win. Everything felt right. I never want to feel like I've not done enough on stage, and that's probably why I'm never the biggest guy on stage, because I probably, like I say, overtrain, do a little bit too much, and I come down and I lose muscle tissue. But my key has always been to be as shredded as possible, in the best condition I can be, in the best shape I can be, not necessarily about the size. A ritual I've always done is 8 weeks out, is I start to do isotension after every bit of training. So isotension is when you're tensing every muscle in your body and you're holding them for 3 or 4 seconds, releasing, breathing, go again. Especially on my midsection, it brings everything tight. And when you're stepping on stage, you can make your posing look effortless. And it's something not a lot of bodybuilders want to do because it's so monotonous, boring, it's static holds, and it's a big expenditure of calories. So people try and shy away from it. obviously nowadays bodybuilding's become a lot easier because you've got a lot of prep companies out there who are willing to cook their food for you and stuff. And I've used that in the past, but for me, it's weird. I couldn't guarantee what was in the meals, even though they said, oh, it's all freshly cooked and whatnot. You didn't know where the meat was coming from and whatnot. And I don't know, for me, it's all part of bodybuilding. It's prepping your own food and knowing you've left no stone unturned because you've done everything yourself. When they say abs are made in the kitchen, it's so true, because you can train them all you want, but if you've got a layer of fat over them, you're not going to show them. So it's not just about losing weight. Anyone can do that. You can go for a run, you can restrict your calories, and you're going to lose weight, you're in a deficit. It's more about how much muscle you can maintain whilst you're stripping the body fat down slowly, whilst not losing any muscle. 16 weeks is where you're locked in, regimented, and your starting point of prep should be at your highest calorie point. So for me, I'm at like 4,500 calories. I'm at my heaviest, because you want to be at a good starting point. As you come down to the show, you have a lot of things to play around with because you've got a lot of calories to play around with, and you can maintain muscle and come down nice and easy with that.
There's not really a difference between Ryan in competition mode and Ryan when he's not in competition mode. He is always 100 miles an hour. The amount of pressure that he feels he has on him, I think he feels that he has to represent the UK quite a lot, which in itself is a massive thing. It must be hard. He sees himself at his best, and so does everybody else, and that's what they think he should look like all the time. Everybody's bothered about what they look like, whether you want to admit that or not, but then when you've got the entire world judging you for it, it's just another level.
I know I'm doing everything I can. There's no stone unturned this prep, and I've always said to myself, I never want to look back on a prep after 16 weeks thinking, I could have done more, I should have worked harder. So I know at this stage I can't physically be doing any more. Like, I'm absolutely exhausted, which is what you need to be pushing your body to its limits and to get it in its best. There's no easy way, and if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. I had a bit of a wobble. I think every competitor have wobbles when they're dieting and they're so restrictive in calories, and obviously they're expending a lot and they're tired. Things do play around in your head, like, am I ready? Am I too small nowadays? All these kind of things, am I too fat? But yesterday we had a little check-in. I prep myself, I do my own food, do my own calories, do my own caliber readings, do my own weight, do my own training. And we just sat back, had a look yesterday, and we're where we need to be. I'm going to do a little physique update. Like I say, I'm fasted, flat, no pump, depleted. And then we'll show you a bit later on when I've got some food in me and after a training session, the difference in pump and stuff like that. When I'm prepping for a show, I visualise obviously the win. I constantly do that when I'm training and stuff, and if I start to slack or start to get tired, I start thinking, would your competitors be doing the same? Are they slacking? Are they missing out? Are they half-arsing this session or whatnot? And that's what normally pulls me through and gets me motivated to carry on. And it's just being able to channel it in the right way. And for me, that's how I stay motivated. And I've got a new motivation as well now, is my family. I've got a newborn son, and I want him to be proud of me. And yeah, and my family as well. So that, for me, winning this Arnold title in the UK in front of him, first time he'll see me competing, it's just, oh, I get shivers actually thinking about it. This is the point what I love, because every day is changing. Like, you can see your body's adapting, it's changing, and this is what separates you from the rest. So these are the days what, for me, is a real mental battle where you're like, right, now we're working, like, your competitors, they're the best in the world. You've got to be training as hard as them and to be as mentally focused as them. Training is becoming more and more difficult. Like, the recovery between sets is just so hard. You can hardly speak, and you're just trying to get the oxygen in and trying to get repaired, ready for your next set. obviously the lack of calories and the low body fat is becoming more and more difficult every day. But that's part of prep, that's what I love. And the energy does dip, the motivation does dip, but that's when the real mental battle starts. And it's whether you've got that discipline and that determination to keep going. And yes, I'm tired now, 3 weeks to go, but I'm where I want to be. I've prepped myself solely this time. I've had no help from coaches or anything like that, and I feel 100 times better for it. I've come in exactly how I wanted. I've probably trained a bit harder than I needed to, or I've restricted my calories a little bit more than I needed to, but that's how I mentally focus better, and I know come show day I'll have left no stone unturned and will be exactly how I wanted to be on stage. I won it as an amateur in Europe, I won it as a pro in America. To win it on home soil as a trilogy, the first Arnold Classic in the UK, would just be, sort of like you're setting history, you're making history, and it'll just be one hell of a title to be the first guy to win it. So it means a lot, a hell of a lot.